Sha Tin on Sunday for 10 races, mixed card as well. We've got 6 races on the all-weather, including the 2 trophy races, the other 4 on the turf, as we build up to HKIR. We've got it all covered here. I'm Andrew Lejeune. Please say I'm joined in the studio by our former analyst in Paul Alley and race caller Tom Wood as well. Tom, it's actually a really interesting card with lots of first starters in the programme.
Yeah, there certainly are, particularly in the first part of the programme and then the back end of the programme. Quite a number of first starters going around throughout the day at Sha Tin. And then coming up later on in race number 7, that is the main race, one of the main races anyway, but Class 2, over 1650, some of the best all-weather horses we have here. Will Power coming back from some surgery on his knee.
Yeah, an extended rating band as well, up to 105, which allows him to get into the field. There's a really big jackpot as well, Paul.
Yeah, triple trio, expecting it to get up to 20 million. So a decent triple trio. It hasn't been won the last few weeks. It's been partially, maybe just partially won, but I think 3 weeks ago it was partially won, but last couple of weeks hasn't been won, so that's why it's up to 20 million.
Yeah, got that just $2, wasn't it?
Yeah,
for the final,
yeah,
for the final leg. Didn't go off, so a big one to look forward to then on Sunday. Before we get into the programme as such, it will be the last meeting, for now anyway, that Chad Schofield will be riding at. He's heading back to Australia next week, and Nick Child was out at track work to catch up with Chad and find out about his time here in Hong Kong.
Well, Chad Schofield, your stint here in Hong Kong very shortly will be coming to an end. Was that a hard decision to make, to leave the city?
Of course, it was very hard. I spent such a large portion of my career in Hong Kong. I came as a young 20-year-old and fresh out of my apprenticeship, and yeah, I'm only leaving now. So it's been a long time, but very enjoyable, lots of good memories, and sad to leave, but also excited for what the future holds.
And given that obviously you say you arrived as a young 20-year-old, 6 years here, just over 200 winners in that time. Has that helped you mature as a rider, do you believe?
Yeah, I have no doubt. It's definitely improved me. It's grown me up a lot. Jockeys in Hong Kong have to deal with a lot, but I stuck it out and lasted longer than most did. So yeah, I'm leaving very happy, and yeah, like I said, just excited to sort of get to Australia and get settled and then get stuck into it again.
What will the future hold for you, Chad? Obviously, where will you be based? Are there any targets that you've set yourself once you return to Australia?
I'll be based in Sydney. It's where I began my career at the beginning, and I'll just freelance. I'll go back to my old manager and yeah, just sort of get into it in January and work hard and see where I end up.
And in that time, obviously, those 205 winners, obviously you've ridden some very nice ones, the likes of Singapore Sling and also Fantastic Treasure. If you had to sort of pinpoint, a few of those memorable moments, what would they be?
Yeah, I think definitely that Chinese New Year race day where I rode 4 winners and Singapore Sling. That was probably my nicest day, but there's been a lot of good memories. So yeah, like I said, it's been very enjoyable.
And obviously this weekend, just the one ride for you to finish on. When will you leave Hong Kong? Is that straight away after the races?
Yeah, we will fly at midnight after the races.
And obviously just outside of the racing here, obviously I imagine living in Hong Kong has been a pleasure. Obviously you say you spent a lot of time here, and I imagine you've had a very enjoyable time here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the lifestyle here is great. I've always loved it, and yeah, it'll be a shock to the system because it's all very different in Australia. But I'm looking forward to it, and there's a lot I'll miss about Hong Kong. But I think it's time to go now.
Well, Chad, from all of us here at the Hong Kong Jockey Club, we wish you well back in Australia.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, we do as well, Nick, with Chad, and who knows, he could be back as well. We get some international raiders coming. Chad could be back as well. When Nick spoke to him as well, he said just one ride, Tom, but he's actually picked up a second ride now as well. We'll come to those changes in a moment, but it's a good ride as well.
Yeah, it certainly is, down the straight over 1,000 metres, so he's got every opportunity to win that horse. Once again, Cordyceps 6, he's been going great guns, and I think he's looking for 3 in a row now.
Yeah, absolutely, but it'll be a success for sure back in Australia.
Oh, definitely. He's fantastic on and off the off track
as well. He's been great
for
us.
He's been great. He's a really good kid, and I just hope all the best for him, and also as Hannah as well when they go down. They've got the new baby on the way, so yeah, I'll just reiterate what Nick said. All the best for him.
Absolutely, yeah, due in February. Little baby boy Schofield, but unfortunately Jerry Chow hurt his hand on Saturday and required some stitches, so he's out now from Sunday's programme. Some good pickup rides. Blake Shin will ride Willpower in the feature race. Chad now rides Cordyceps 6 and Elite Patch, and Rise Brethren. Ruin Minds pick up 3 of the rides here. Rise Brethren, really interesting first starter coming in the final event there. He's having his first start then. Rise Brethren. Okay, right, the meeting itself then. So this is the week before HKIR. It's meeting number 25 of the season. We're on the C+3 course. Of course, we'll be back to the A position for next week's international. So the 2 trophy races, races 5. We'll look at race 7, the Carbine Carbine Club, and the Opal Handicap as well, which is down the straight, 1,000 metres. The Carbine Club is what I'm trying to say. Right. How do they line up for this one? Class 2 of the 1,200 metres, 105 to 80 here, so a Class 2. Willpower off the track since June, a 6-time course and distance winner. California Deep Shot comes down in Class Silver Figs, won 5 times course and distance, including first up this season, last time out Sight Success, twice winning at Happy Valley, switches now to the all-weather. Red Desert's got a good record at course and distance as well, 3 times he's won. Sarsen, a course and distance winner. And Chang Cheng Prince, well, his last 2 wins have been over the 1,650, now dropping back to the 1,200 metres, a distance he has won on the turf. We start off with the speed map, though, of course, and we're saying good, Tom, in the early stages here. And with the smaller field, does everyone get a reasonably good run?
Yeah, they should do. Maybe Red Desert might be the odd one out there from gate number 9, but if the field was able to break up Paul, he might be able to get in. But Sight Success, he's been relatively consistent in terms of going forward. Yeah,
going forward, and K-Ing Master as well, he likes to go forward as well. Chang Cheng Prince dropping back in trip, should get a nice enough run with the California Deep Shot. Willpower, Silver Fig, they're normally back runners, but with a smaller field, I don't think they'll be too far away.
Okay, all right, so that is the feature race at number 7 as far as the speed is concerned. We'll have a look at a couple of the runners in a second, but let's start off with the returning Willpower and trainer, Douglas White.
Douglas, Willpower, we haven't seen him since June. He's been off a long time. What's kept him off the track?
Oh, he's had some surgery on his knees, and thankfully it's been very successful. He's bounced back. He's had 2 trials, and both have looked reasonably good to the eye.
He's been up at Chung Fa for a long time. Obviously, part of his sort of recuperation, as it were. He's done well since he's been up there.
He has. Look, the facilities there are fantastic. It's obviously the perfect opportunity for a horse to recover, and as you know, the facilities are great. So he's come back in good order. He did put on a substantial amount of weight, which we've had to work off him, but you know, he's always a big horse anyway, but I'd say the break's done him the world of good.
Just given his size and stature, he's got a bigger weight to carry this Sunday. Jerry rides and will obviously claim off that as well. Any concern there at all?
There's always a concern when you get to the top end of any race, especially on the dirt over the 1,200. There's no release of pressure. It's relentless from the get-go. However, he is a big, robust horse, and he's carried weight in the past. So I'm hoping that can help him offset the large amount of weight. But it is his first run back, so you know he's going to be a bit ring rusty, and I'm just crossing my fingers that he gets back to peak fitness and back to his racing ways, which he's really done well. You know, he's as honest as the day's long, and he seems to thrive on the dirt.
And obviously we're only a week away from what is the biggest fixture in the Hong Kong calendar. As a rider, you were a permanent fixture of that, obviously plenty of success, but as a trainer, just the one runner last year, you've got 2 this year, both Stronger and Russian Emperor. Are you happy with both of those going into next week?
I am. Russian Emperor seems to really come good after 2 races, which, you know, I thought his last run was pretty eye-catching. He didn't really get a full crack at them. He's trained on well. He's looking good to the eye. And Stronger, he's a picture of health. He hasn't put a foot wrong since he stepped in the yard, and if anything, he just keeps improving. So, you know, he's probably a hand short of being the top Group 1 level. But if anything's vulnerable, he'll be there to take up any slack.
Strong lineup in the sprint and the Cup as well. Russian Emperor struck a very good field this year. We'll concentrate, though, on Willpower. And, of course, with Jerry being out, Blake's riding him now Tom, so he will shoulder the whole 133 rather than the claim off.
Yeah, and I think that combined with up 40 pounds odd in body weight just might be a little bit of a test for him this time around. Willpower, we know he's got plenty of quality, Paul, but I think there's a couple of mitigating factors there.
Yeah, look, he's had that surgery. He's got that really good fresh up record, as we saw. So, look, I put him in on a very minor line. He's put on 40 pounds since the last season.
Yeah, he definitely has and does set the standard as far as the dirt sprinters are concerned. It has for a season or so. But taking that into account, Tom, Silverfig was super first up this season. If he comes on from this, he's got to be very dangerous.
Absolutely, and we've seen the last sort of couple of wins on wet tracks in these sort of races from the likes of Silverfig and Willpower. They get to the outside and they seem to perform their best in the better part of the track that hasn't seen too much use during the day, and he was near the rear. It was an easy win in the end, was able to run past them all. Kerpity there on the inside. It's no reason why he can't go on with it again.
No, I agree, and he has won second up in the past. I know he's won fresh up now, but he's also won second up in the past, and the horse is working really well.
Yeah, and Tony Miller's horses are flying on the all-weather surface. Got another real good chance later on the programme. This is Sight Success, Paul. At Happy Valley, though, of course, but he's in good form.
He is. Now, he won 2 in a row there. He started off the season, when he first got here to Hong Kong, he won 3, so he's a 5-time winner. He's had 1 go on the all-weather. He drew wide on that occasion and ran 5th. Look, I think he's found a really tough race here. He'll be on the pace, but I think he'll get a bit of pressure.
Yeah, I think there'll be some pressure there for him as well. That's Ka Ying Star, who's performed well on the surface in the past. He's coming into the second up. He hasn't won second up in the past, but he might not be the worst on what he did last start.
OK, more turf form here, Tom, but Zarson has won on the dirt before, and this is a pretty strong form line as well, I think.
Yeah, well, he's coming behind Fantastic Way and also with Trillion Win. He's only got a couple behind him here at this point with about 300 metres left to go, and the best part of this race here was when he wound up strongly sort of the last 50 metres or so, and he was only really a couple of bounds away from winning this race.
No, it was a really good run, and he has won on the all-weather before, and he's been second 4 times. So the surface hold knows fair for him. So, yeah, I've included him. I think it was a really good run.
Finishing 4th, beating a short head behind the dead heaters there in Trillion Win and Fantastic Way. Last one we can have a look at here is Chang Cheng Prince. Now, his wins have been over the 1650 on the all-weather, but it's 1200 now, Paul.
Yeah, it is. So he has to come back and trip. He has won 1200 on the turf a couple of times, and he has won over 1000 as a Griffin as well. So I don't think the distance is too much of a problem for him. He comes in with a really light weight, and he's really showing a liking for the surface. He's 2 from 2 on it. So, look, I've included him.
Yeah, he didn't quite make it in for me this time around, Chang Cheng Prince. Their last start on the turf, he had, I thought, pretty much every chance in the trail. I think there's a few others here that just might have a little bit over him.
Yeah, those are my sort of thoughts as well. But he's actually come up as favourite here, Paul the Grey.
Yeah, so I put him in as the Quinella horse. I've got Silverfig on top. I just think the horse is really going well at the moment. So he's on top to beat Chang Cheng Prince. Zarson was a fantastic run. And then Willpower in for 4th, just on the back of that fresh up record. We know he's a class horse. He's a 6-time winner. We'll just see how he goes. I think he'll get back. He'll be running on. But 3, 9, 7 and 1 in the end.
3, 7, 6 and 1. I think Silverfig can go on and win again. We know his quality on the all-weather. Zarson certainly after that terrific effort on the turf last time out. Ka Ying Master and Willpower there on a minor line. 3, 7, 6 and 1.
Silverfig, he'll do for me. The rest of the field all have some sort of each-way claims, I think, but we'll go one out here, Silverfig, in the feature of the Class 2. We'll look at the 1,000-metre dash after the break, plus all the best bets. That's still to come. Racing in Hong Kong heads to Sha Tin on Sunday for a 10-race programme. We're looking at race number 8, one of the 4 races on the turf in actual fact. This is a Class 3 1,000-metre dash. Racing Fighter returns, been off the track since June. Cordyceps 6 won his last 2, now ridden by Chad Schofield as well. Solar Winds makes his Hong Kong debut, as does Nothing Impossible, and Prosecco as well for Chris O and Alexi Vidal. Killer Instinct, the 4th of the debutantes here. Super Fortune was super winning first up, stays course and distance, and down to Striking Mr. C. He's been off the track for some time as well. He's generally a dirt horse as well. That is Striking Mr. C. But let's have a look at this speed map here first, Tom, with a bit of a lineup.
Yeah, well, Super Fortune went forward on debut and he was able to hold them all out. But what about the newcomers, Paul? Where do they end up?
I think Prosecco is definitely a horse that has shown speed in his trials. He can go forward. The others really haven't. Killer Instinct, Solar Winds, and Nothing Impossible. They haven't shown too much speed. So of the first starters, I think Prosecco is going to be the one likely forward, and Metro Warrior is likely to come across as well.
OK, we're going to have a look at those horses in a moment or so. We'll start off, though, with Who are we going to start off with? Cordyceps 6, in actual fact. And this good run from him, well, probably better than good as well, Paul, because he was able to burst the bubble at the time that was Nervous Witness, amongst others. He's gone on and won again. The other horse to take out of this race, we've got Run Cool, run a huge run at odds, seizing the moment, finishing in 4th place, and Fantasy further out.
Yeah, look, he's gone so well, Cordyceps 6 in this race, and he's still only a 3-year-old as well, and he keeps improving. It was a really nice run. He settled just in behind the pace, and he can do something similar. And once he got into the clear, he hit the line. He's not the biggest horse around, that's the only thing, and he is creeping up in the weights.
I think he's still got the ability to go on with it again, though, with Cordyceps 6. He'd done that pretty easily over the final stage. Nothing wrong with Run Cool. I thought the run there of sort of seizing the moment was a horse that looked like he just wanted a little bit further, but they keep him here at 1,000 again.
OK, at Happy Valley here, Tom, and this is Metro Warriors. We pick it up, covering a little bit of ground.
Yes, he covered a fair bit of ground on this occasion. He was 3 wide, no cover up on the pace here. He's won off a mark of 70 in the class. He's marked 75, and his only win with Zach Purton was, of course, with Zach going back a few months ago now. And look, he just tired late here. He was entitled to, but I think he's a good enough chance down the straight.
Yeah, I've got him in, and when he did win that race off that rating of 70, it was down the straight 1,000 as well. So no problems with the course and distance. So look, yeah, he goes in for me as well.
OK, we're still at Happy Valley here for Seizing the Moment. So we've had a couple of looks at him. The other horse, Paul, to keep one eye on as well is Astro King, but he finishes a long way further back.
Yeah, so he was on debut and he finished right towards the back here. So I think he needs to improve. The one thing in his favour is the draw, but I think he's found a tough race here. So, look, he didn't go in for me. Or actually, neither of these two horses went in the end for me. Seizing the Moment, I agree with what Tom says. Up to 1,200, I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, he was running on there at the end, like 1,200 would suggest. But I think he'll get his opportunity here.
This horse could be well named, Tom, Super Fortune.
Yeah, well, he ran 56.37 down the straight first up. There was a little bit of pressure from the horse there on his outside, but he was able to career away over the final stages. He's been back to the trial since and won. But it's a step up here, Paul, go to Class 3, but he does have the weight in his favour.
Yeah, and look, he don't know how... I mean, he only ran 56 and change, as you said, but it was eased right down at the end as well. So he is untapped, and he does get 13 pounds on Cordyceps 6.
We've got Racing Fighter returning, Paul, over the 1,000 metres, and a debutant here in Solar Winds as well. Just one start for him in Australia. Yeah,
so Solar Winds, look, I want to see him. He's 1,016 pounds. He didn't win in Australia either. He was placed in that group race that he was in. He's by Zoostar. The other one's Racing Fortune, needs a lot longer.
You can leave me out of Racing Fighter, but Solar Winds, it brought some handy enough 2-year-old form over. It was placed in the Black Opal Stakes at Canberra, but that's... it's a fair old step up here for a 2-year-old, now 3-year-old coming to Class 3 for the first time. So he was a little bit pushed out there late, so happy to watch both of these.
Yeah, and he was staying quite strongly in the closing stages. That was 1,200. This is 1,000 he debuts at here. Tom, Prosecco, what do we know about him?
Yeah, well, he raced in France. He was winner of a 2-year-old handicap race at Longchamp, and then he was placed in his next couple of runs. And he had one other run prior to arriving. He'd also had form on the poly track and the fibre sand there. He's had a respiratory infection since he's been here. Gate speed's been good enough, but another one I'm happy to watch.
Yeah, I'm just going to watch him. He's 11.09 pounds. He did win this trial. He should get up on the pace or not be too far away from it as well. So 4 trials he's had to get him ready.
Yeah, he should have a bit of dash there, didn't he? Christophe Furlan trained him in France. Now we're going to have a look at some of the times here because this is just a straight line sprint. What do we learn from this, Tom?
Well, Cordyceps 6 this season, out of all of these horses here, he has run the quickest out of any of them down the straight, 55.25, which is only 0.01 off the quickest time all season we've seen down the straight, and of course that came from Nervous Witness, but I think just sort of shows that he's been improving with each and every win that he's posted.
Yeah, definitely, he's going really well. Again, he just has to give weight round to a progressive horse in Super Fortune. That was a query I had.
Okay, all right, market says Cordyceps 6 at the moment. Paul, what do you say?
Yeah, look, he's one of the main dangers. I'm going to go the other one though. I just think he's more progressive at this stage. Super Fortune, as they sit in the weights, 129 versus 116. So happy to go with the 11 to beat the 2. But that's a dead set Quinella for me. Then a gap back to Metro Warrior and Run Cool. 11, 2, 3 and 6.
Cordyceps 6, I know he's got more weight to carry this time round against the likes of Super Fortune, but I think gate number 14 is what's going to be pivotal for his chances. He's going to have that outside rail. Cordyceps 6 over Super Fortune, Seizing the Moment, and Metro Warrior 2, 11, 10 and 3.
That's the cue for me as well. Cordyceps 6 to beat Super Fortune. 10 race programme. Paul, what do we like? Who are the highlights?
Well, horses earlier on, I quite like a horse called Yes We Can. I think that he did win in Class 5, but he's going really well at the moment. Vento went really well on his debut here in Hong Kong, but 1,000. The 1,200 looks good for him. Fiery Diamond, a horse that should be at odds, I don't mind him. Also like a horse towards the back end of the card, the Irishman. Did win over 1,100 and 1,400 New Zealand, and he's on debut here in Class 3. And he'll be a bit of a price as well.
All right, don't forget audio video section of the website. You'll find the previews in each and every race. But of those 10, Paul, who was the best?
The best for me, I'm going to make is Yes We Can in the first. We'll get off to a nice start there. Alexi Bedell, lightweight, and he's a big, strong horse. This one just got beaten last time. And the Irishman, Vincent Ho in the back, should be a good double-figure price for him as well. So he's going to be the each-way play. And we'll make the QQP in the last with the Irishman. Beauty Joy should get a nice run. And Sky Forever, unfortunately, is drawn awkwardly, but has been running well. 1, 2 and 13.
My best is in the third with Eason, a newcomer here out of a red-hot Frankie Law stable. He's been trialling well. He'd looked good in his Australian trials as well. So Eason, and hopefully Crossford can find a bit of clear room in the straight. Drawn 13, not too worried about the draw, but had no luck last start. Ultra Express will tie him up with Elite Patch and Crossford in the ninth.
The bests will go in the feature. That is Silverfig. Super first up. I think he can improve second up as well. Matthew Poon for Tony Millard. And so much like Paul, I think there's probably a bit of value to be found in the last race. Rise Brethren. Liffey River was his name when he raced and finished second in the Britannia Stakes for Joseph O'Brien. Ruin Myers picked up the right here for Danny Shum. Willpower, Silverfig and Red Desert. QQP for me in race number 7. And as much as I'm looking forward to Sunday's programme, Tom, it gets real after that. IJC and then the big one next weekend.
Yeah, it certainly does. HKIR coming up next Sunday. Make sure you stay across the Jockey Club's website, hkjc.com. All the information will be there. Jockey's allocation coming up Monday morning, 10:30 local.
Yeah, always good to watch that as well. And yeah, next week's going to be fantastic. Well, we'll get Sunday out of the way, and there's some good races and good betting opportunities there as well.
There is indeed. That's the show. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you at Sha Tin on Sunday. We will be racing to win.